welcome back everybody to another video. And in today's video, I'm going to show you the proper way to remove baseboard along with casing. That way you don't damage any of your walls. And what I mean by that is the majority of your baseboard and casing is usually caulked to your wall. So if that happens and it's all sealed, if you were to go ahead and you were to just try to put a, let's say, this is a cat's paw, but say you're using a cat's paw or some kind of flat bar on your baseboard, and you went ahead and you tried to pry it off your wall, one, it's going to be hard to get that pry bar behind your trim because it's already caulked, that's sealed. So you're either going to have to take a hammer, pound it down in there, which could potentially damage your wall, or you could take maybe a drywall knife or something like that, some kind of paint scraper or something, and try to do the same thing, pound it in there, and maybe get behind there and work it out. The best way and the easiest way to go about doing that is you take a knife, take a razor knife, and you'll go ahead and you'll cut along the caulking in the baseboard, and you'll score that. You don't have to go back over it 5, 6, 7 times. You could go once, maybe twice. Really, all you're wanting to do is just score that. You're just wanting to penetrate the caulking just a little bit, to where then that'll give you the flexibility to go ahead and put something back in here and not damage your wall. So when it's caulked and you were to pull your trim away, one, it's going to obviously be hard, like I just talked about, in order to get anything started. But two, once you do get something started, you're going to be fighting the caulking on the painted wall itself. So you run the risk of pulling pieces of paint off and your drywall off, and it's going to run up your wall. I'm sure you've seen people or seen videos on it or heard of that happening to people, and let's avoid doing that. So that's what this video is. It's going to be to show you the right way to go about it, the easiest way for yourself, causes the least amount of damage, the least amount of grief. So we'll go ahead and we're going to score it. And I'm going to turn around and score it this way. There we go. And it looks like it's caulked. I know you can't see it, but it's caulked right here at this corner. We're going to go ahead, cut that miter as well. It looks like it's actually caulked right here to the casing. Go ahead and score it. Retract your blade. You don't know how many times I've put my knife in my pocket and forgot to retract the blade all the way, or you leave it out just a hair. Oh boy, you remember. Alright, so we're going to try it a few different ways. Now that it's scored, the best thing to do is you want to start on either end. You start in the middle, and it's really hard because you can't really flex it, the base itself. So we're going to start on one of the corners. For this video, I think I'm going to start over here on this side, just for the purposes of it. So we'll try it with this first. See, look at that, goes back in there nice and easy. So we can go ahead, go down your wall, work it out a little bit, and back. And if that's not giving you enough leverage, because obviously I grabbed a 6-inch drywall knife and they're pretty flexible. So if you had a painter's tool, I'll show you a picture of one. If you have a painter's tool, it might work a little bit better. It's a little more rigid. If not, a flat bar or a cat's paw. Not sure what a cat's paw is. I got a video on that, and it'll talk to you about exactly what a cat's paw is and what it does. There's many uses for it, and this is one of them. You can go ahead, and it gives you a nice amount of leverage, or say that's not enough for you, and you still want more leverage. You can go ahead and use your hammer. The trick is with your hammer, if you were to use your hammer to remove your trim, you're putting a lot of leverage and pressure up here on your drywall. So, in order to disperse that weight and spread that out, all that pressure, go ahead and do yourself a favor. Grab a couple shims, grab a little scrap piece of plywood, anything like that. You could probably even get away with some thicker cardboard. Go ahead and put it on the back side, and right where the head of your hammer is going to be, that's where you'll put your shims, and that'll help give you more leverage. And then it spreads the weight out of the head of that hammer. So now you're not going to damage your wall. So, there you go. Right there, you have it. Easiest way to remove baseboard and not damage your wall. Turns out good. Now in this case, I'm actually going back with a taller base once this is done, so I don't have to worry about taking a scraper or a razor blade and getting that excess caulking off. But if you're going back on with the same size trim, it's just going to be newer, you can go ahead and you can use I would use a 6-inch knife again. I'd probably use a 4-inch knife or something like that, or like I said, even a painter's tool, and it's just a little bit smaller, and you'll just take it, and the only reason you want to do that is because it scrapes that excess caulking off, so that way you don't have to worry about it. It's not going to hump your baseboard out when you go to install it later on, and you won't end up with any weird bubbles or anything like that. So, there you have it. Hopefully that was helpful for you. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this trim off and get on with my day. So